is the only consideration under the current circumstances. The other circumstances which are considered, they are, having stayed here, I think, for a period of 10 years, but you can only stay in South Africa legally if you are in a critical sector job, and then you apply for permanent residency, and it is considered and it is granted. My answer to you shortly is that, critical skill work is a consideration when a permanent residency is granted by the Home Office.
How would you feel if I tell you that is a lie?
Okay, explain why you say it's a lie.
Because work is not the only ground foreign national is granted permanent residency.
Yes.
I'll quote here. Okay. Eligibility for permanent residency include eligibility for permanent residence permit is determined by the Immigration Act and is subject to the applicant being of good character and not a prohibited or undesirable person. Common categories for application include work-based, and it says holding a general work visa for at least 5 years with a permanent job offer in South Africa, possessing exceptional skills or qualifications listed on the critical skill list, having a permanent offer of employment in a field where sufficient South African workers are not available, intending to establish a business in a minimum investment, typically 5 million rand or lesser amount if in a national interest sector. And then the other ground is family-based, being the spouse or life partner of a South African citizen or permanent resident for at least 5 years, being a dependent child under 21 or financially dependent if older of a South African citizen or permanent resident, being a relative of a citizen or permanent resident within the first level of kinship, and it says e.g. parent. And it says other grounds, qualifying as a financially independent person, demonstrating a net worth of 12 million rand and paying a 120,000 once-off fee upon.
But that it's only people with critical skill that can. Oh my goodness!
No,
yes,
but-
Commander.
True Gospel. Did you listen to what Commander George said? Wait, True Gospel. Wait. Did you listen to what Commander George said? Most of the things that you are mentioning, they are on the critical skill base.
You did,
True Gospel. But I was listening. Wait, True
no,
Gospel.
you were not listening.
But wait, True Gospel. Whatever. But kopa le gona re mamele ke a o kopa. And I've been trying to be fair this whole life. Kopa o mamele, please. Bruh, first of all, a normal Zimbabwean does not even have that amount you are talking about. That's number one. That's the first thing.
Oh Lord.
Commander George comes and tells you about critical skills, you say he's wrong. And then you go and read, and you find out that what he was saying is exactly 95% of what you are reading.
You didn't.
And number two, Mamela. And number two, my brother, AI will deal with you. Google, it will deal with you. Number one, you must also check where the source is coming from. Chase the source, check if it's the legitimate source to give you that such information. Because whatever that you are looking for on Google, you will find it. I can come and say that for a normal man to be a man, he must have 3 dicks. If I Google that, somewhere I will find that. But you knowing, I can say it's island to you. But because it's on internet, you would actually believe that.
No.
Education is key in Tuanak.
King T, that was not the argument. The argument here was that Commander George said that work, which is critical skill, is the only one that grants you permanent residency. But here it says also family-based criteria can also grant you permanent residency in South Africa.
Cool. Family. Did you see the judgment that was passed? Commander George, was it 2 weeks back or 3 weeks back where the Zimbabwean couple went there and wanted to give their child citizenship because they were born here? And the government said, wait, Mamela.
I mean, I'm dropping never. This is so dumb. I never. Yo.
Yeah, let's continue with grown people stuff now. Commander George, you are far from your mic.
Oh,
Okay, you are back now, sharp.
yeah, commanders. I'm just trying to clarify you, commander. That judgment of the two Zimbabwean parents comes from 2021. It's from Polokwane High Court. I think it only happened that you became aware of it 3 weeks ago. But that judgment, commander, is very clear.
Commander George, you keep on running away from the mic.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's only sharp, Jono.
Yeah, I'm saying that judgment comes from long time. It says that when a child of foreigners is born in South Africa, he doesn't become a citizen, and he doesn't become he doesn't have a birth certificate of South Africa or ID numbers of South Africa. That's what it says. Now, Commander, let's come to the issue of permanent residency. You know, commanders, the things which are done by this government, especially with regards to migration, they are 80% wrong, most of them. When a person enters into, we know a lot of foreigners are entering into marriages of convenience, and that cements their stay in South Africa. You know, the law says that when you are a foreigner and you enter into marriage with a South African, you should bring a document from your home country which shows that you are not in another marriage. And that document must be filed in your file at the Home Affairs, the file of this marriage you are committing. But let me come to the issue of gospel. Commanders, there is two things, and we must be clear about this. There is two things which place a foreigner in South Africa. It's a visa. There's various forms of visa. Those visas are of a limited duration. Those visas are not residence permits, most of them. The general work visa has been abolished 3 years ago. There is no, you can go to the white paper and read, there is no general work visa which was granted in the past 3 years. Only critical skill visas were applied for, and very few were granted. So now, when a general work visa is abolished, a person will only qualify to apply for permanent residency after they are here in South Africa on a critical skill visa, and to get into critical skill visa today, and then the next day you get a permanent residency. It becomes a process. And, you know, a lot of things are being considered. You know, I mean, a lot of things are considered. But paramount is the critical skill visa, because that is what has placed you to be in South Africa legally. With regards to refugees and asylum seekers, when you are a refugee, you cannot apply for permanent residency because you have stayed here for long. No. The law of refugees says that when your country is no longer at war, you must be repatriated back to your country. But the South African government is not doing that. It's not repatriating these people. These people, surprisingly, they end up with a permanent residency. They end up with being naturalized and stuff like that. So in the absence of a general work visa, the only thing which place, or some of the few things which place someone legally in South Africa, will be your critical skill visa. There is a business visa which requires somebody to deposit 5 million into the South African Department of Trade and Industry before they can conduct business in South Africa. That can also be construed as critical skills, because not everybody will have 5 million. That is something exceptional. And also, you don't automatically qualify. You still have to apply. And after a duration of time, on paper, it is not easy to become a permanent residence holder in South Africa. But because our laws have been skewed, you find a lot of people having permanent residency, against the protocols. Now, I was busy with the issue here, schooling commanders, but I see Roland is no longer here. I will not continue with it.
Can I quickly respond? So, Commander George, I don't take away from what you are saying. You are right.
No, truth. You see,
No, can I respond? Because he's not telling the entire truth.
Yeah, it's fine. You will respond. It's fine. You will. You threw out a tantrum and you said this was stupid. Then you dropped.
No, because I was.
You see how disrespectful you are.
Okay, I apologize for that, Nover.
You can continue.
Yeah. Okay. So I was saying that what I don't take away from what Commander George is saying is true, but it's not a fact that work is the only ground that grants people permanent residence in South Africa. We can even go to our law. Work is not the only ground that grants a person permanent residence. That is my point.
You mentioned the other grounds for permanent residency and elaborate on them, Commander.
Yeah, I say family-based, also family-based, spousal.
Family-based, what do you mean?
Like if you have a relative who is in possession of permanent residence, like for example, wait. Can I clarify? Yes, the ground. It says here, right? Spousal life partner, married to or in a partnership with a citizen or permanent resident for a minimum duration, right? And then also it says here, dependent children, minor children of citizens or permanent residents, relatives, biological or adopted relatives of citizens, permanent residents. So those are the grounds that also grant permanent residency.
What section of the law are you reading? Which law is that?
It's in the Immigration Act.
Of the Immigration Act.
Okay, let me look it up.
Ask a question to Gospel when he's looking it up. Sasko, why are you interested in these things? Do you also want to get a permanent citizenship in South Africa, perhaps?
I'm South African, my brother. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm very South African.
Why are you threatening? No one said you are not South African. And you are coming. Why? There is nothing you can do about it.
We are waiting for the section. Find that section.
Marasasko. Oh, by the way, the guy on the screen, that's who we are talking to. I think it will give you light for you to understand what we are dealing with. The guy that I have on the screen, that's True Gospel.
It's critical that he finds this section. It's very critical because, guys, I don't know. So you speak about family base, spousal. No, find it, man. We really want to learn. I don't want to.
We really want. Commander Nova, the relative visas are of a limited duration. It's like your 90-day visas and stuff. Those things are.
Yeah, we can go to. I found the act.
Wait, Commander George, your mic. No, so mic. Hey, I feel sorry for you, True Gospel. Your role model has just arrived here. But yeah, give us the section when True Gospel.
Section 26 of the Immigration Act. Section 26. Okay.
Read it into the mic, that section 26, what it says.
Okay, yeah. So section 26, subsection A, work experience. Okay, I think I should go to the act straight. So should we go to the act straight? People are okay, yo, guys, y'all are annoying. Like, why are you posting my pictures? It shows that you're defeated in an argument. Like, I mean, come on, man.
Pictures and tell us the section, please. We
No,
are ready.
why are they doing this? Like, I don't
No,
understand.
we want people to see a person that is defeating us. We are giving you your flowers.
No, like, bro, like, I mean, this is not.
Asko, give us the section, please, and leave the other things. We are interested in that section. Read it.
Hey, through gospel, you're not reading.
No, I'm looking for. I wanna go to the Immigration Act, right?
But why you want to defend? Why you, if you are a South African gospel, what was the reason of defending the foreigners?
It speaks about critical skill. But we read it properly. It speaks about, visa. Work
No,
visa.
read section 26, subsection B. What does it say, subsection B?
Yes, because you are the one who's having those.
Okay,
those
yeah. Subsection B says, right, spousal relationship for spouses married or in a permanent relationship of South African citizens or permanent residents for 5 years, requiring proof of relationship authenticity. So it does make provision for spousal relationship. That is section 26, subsection B. And then you go to section 26, subsection C and D. It speaks about child of citizen or resident. For children of South African citizen or permanent residents, often requiring birth certificates and proof of relationship. So that is my proof of this section. Yeah, that is my proof.
George is on tea break. Let your role model greet you. Satan, you can greet your son there.
I don't know if the fans. Why are you giving me bad luck by calling crazy people my sons? Greetings, host, and everybody else. I don't recognize crazy people. Comment section, how are you guys? We like your typing over there. We appreciate everything. Yeah, thank you guys. I don't have crazy sons. And I don't want even bad luck to have a son like Truth Gospel. You, mama, you. I will hide him under the bed when visitors come so that I don't become embarrassed to have a son like this. Ay. I feel sorry for some parents. Oh.
Yeah, no, I prove my point. Y'all can debunk me. So, yeah.
First of all, when gospel, you know you are reading that section, and I think you mentioned the relatives or whatever for a child of a South African, something of that nature. Yeah, can you please read that again, because I'm really trying to follow what you wanted to say. And perhaps you also need to tell us about that section so that we can also and read it proper, because it seems like you don't just read it, all of it, so that we understand what exactly it means.
Okay.
I'm very interested. And the section, please.
Okay.
Is it me or what's happening? It's my network. I don't know. I can't hear anyone.
He's still Googling. He's coming. Don't worry. He's still
Because
Googling.
gentlemen, you need to read that section proper so that we understand, because exactly so that we understand, because you just read, but it lacks the authenticity. But at the end of the day, we really need to understand that section. You tell us section number 3 of the Act, it says this and that, so that we understand.
Yeah. So right now I'm trying to access the Immigration Act. Yeah, let me do this. I'm trying to access it. Where is it? Okay.
While we are on this ad break, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Nova. I would like to request you all to tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen. Let's take it to 50,000. Your kindness will be highly appreciated. Umsabi.
There was supposed to be that boom, boom, because I thought maybe I'm at the airport or something. Hey, we need to relax in these things, man. You are traumatizing us. Yes.
Yes. You see now, Tutulas, my laptop is slow now.
Put volume.
Oh, isn't it when he was reading? What were you reading before? There, where it was fast.
No, it was internet thing. So right now I'm going to the section. Okay, yeah, I'm here, right? Okay. So direct residence. This is the section 26. Subject to section 25, the department shall issue a permanent resident permit to a foreign. And I know that there are some illiterate, but please listen, especially there in the comments. Ne? Yeah, please listen. Okay.
The hell that is coming your way, be willing to stand for it. Trust me.
Yeah, it says, shall issue a permanent residence permit to a foreigner who has been the holder of work permit, including one issued under a corporate permit in terms of this act for 5 years, has received an offer for permanent employment, provided that such a foreigner submitted a certificate from his or her.
And guys, bring him back, please.
Oh, the one and only.
Who dropped him?
The one and only Miss Novet drop.
Ubani. Guys, don't drop.
Oh my goodness.
Don't drop
Imagine, I like that one.
You know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm gonna tell the truth, but it's fine.
Read.
Yeah, let's read. And then it says, such a foreigner submitted a certificate from his or her prospective permanent employer, chartered accountant of a job description, and that position exists and is intended to be filled by such foreigner, and the Department of Labor. Subsection II says the Department of Labor certifies that the terms and conditions of such offer, including salary and benefits, are not inferior to those prevailing in the relevant market segment for citizens and residents, taking into account applicable collective bargaining agreements and other standards. And then when you go to 26, subsection B, it says, is the spouse of a citizen or resident, provided that the department is satisfied that a good faith spousal relationship exists, and such permit is issued on condition that it shall lapse if at any time within 3 years from its application the good faith spousal relationship no longer subsists, save for the case of death. And then subsection C says, is a child of a citizen or resident under the age of 21, provided that such permit shall lapse if such foreigner does not submit an application for its 40 confirmation within 2 years of his or her having turned 21 years of age. Yeah, and then subsection D says is a child of a citizen. So this proves my point. So you can find it there in subsection 26 where it speaks about this.
No, it doesn't prove your point.
How, Novel? How?
It doesn't prove your point.
How?
It proves exactly what Commander has been saying.
Okay.
You think okay, let's say now you are married to a foreigner marries a South African, automatically they qualify for citizenship. Is that what the law is saying there?
No, we're talking about permanent residency.
Yes, they qualify. Let's say they marry today, tomorrow they qualify for permanent residence.
No, it literally says that if a good faith spousal relationship exists.
But you are proving exactly what Commander has been saying all along.
No. Commander said that the only ground you can receive permanent residency is work. He said that, Nover. He said that's work.
But Commander, your Commander is here to defend himself. So, he's not even defending himself.
Commanders, let us just be sober and discuss elementaries. What places you to be in South Africa legally?
Are we not talking about permanent residence here?
No. Before, remember, my brother, before you apply for permanent residency, you are from outside the country. And when you arrive here, you should be here on a legal visa, on a valid passport, on a valid legitimate document. When let me give you something. When you come to South Africa illegally, there is nothing which can legitimize your stay. The first moment you are here illegally, you have violated our laws, and anything which comes after can never make you legal. Even if it's a permanent residency, which on the face of it looks legal, it is not legal because when you first arrive here, you arrived here without being allowed to be in the country. So now, my point is, the only thing which will place a foreigner, legally in South Africa for a period of 5 years is a critical skill work visa.
No, that's not what the Act says.
No, let me tell you, the only thing which places you here, look, you come from Zimbabwe. Let's say you come from Zimbabwe on a passport and a 90-day visa. When it is your 89th day, you happen to get work of a critical skill, and then it places you in South Africa legally.
But let's quote the Act. Let's quote the Act, sir.
Okay, let's go to the Act.
Yes, Section 26. It speaks about residence.
Wait, Commander. No, but Gospel, can you allow a Commander? Remember, it's not only you, right? It's all of us that are learning these things. And Commander George said, let's commentary. Before we start with to engage with the sections of Immigration Act,
what places you in South Africa?
Exactly. That's exactly
what puts you here. We must first establish what puts you here. Does that what puts you here later justifies you applying for permanent residence? That's my point.
No, but that's a different case.
How is it a different case?
No, because right now you're talking
before we can entertain the issue of permanent residency, before you can make an application, there is a document which must place you in South Africa legally. Now, I wanted us to entertain those documents before we can come to the application for permanent residency. Is not automatic. You have to meet requirements. You don't just have a relative here, come stay with the relative and later apply for permanent. You can't, because a relative visa is limited to a period of 90 days. Now, when the requirement for permanent residency is that you should have been in the country for 5 years. Now, if you have relatives in South Africa and you visit them on the basis of relative visa, you cannot later apply for permanent residency because your duration of stay here is only 90 days. And the requirement for permanent residency is 5 years. You see, so the way you are interpreting that section is wrong.
No. It's direct.
It is wrong.
It's very direct.
Look, I
Can
still
put on the big
look.
screen?
Okay, do you agree with me that a relative visa is only 90 days?
No, we're not. Yeah, we are not talking about a relative visa. We're talking about a permanent residency because a visa and permanent residency, they are two different things.
No,
Well,
you are saying
really, I
the-
guys mean.
look, the requirement to apply for permanent residency, the basic requirement for permanent residency is 5 years stay in South Africa. Do you agree with me?
No, here's the section. Can we read the section?
Can you
Agree with me that
Is it
the
a yes or a
basic
no? Do you
requirement
agree, yes
for-
or no?
The basic requirement for permanent residency is 5 years. Do you agree with me?
Wait, Mina, I'm reading from
Yo.
the Act.
They are saying
okay,
whether
let-
do you
let me
agree,
assist
yes
you.
or no?
Let me assist you. The things which are contained in section 26 are some of the things that should be there. It is not one thing does not supersede, does not make you to be able to apply for permanent residency. The one thing which is mentioned in that section, for example, a relative visa is mentioned in that section. A relative visa is of a duration of 90 days. You cannot, on the basis of a relative visa, apply for permanent residency. You can't.
Okay, yeah, Commander Josh.
Look,
Remember,
look.
wait.
Let me tell you. Ne?
No, let me say this.
No,
Let me say this.
listen. The requirement, the basic requirement for permanent residency is having a critical skill job in South Africa. That is basic. You can have other requirements which qualify you, like a business visa where you have deposited 5 million, but still, even if you are on a business visa, you still have to stay here for 5 years. You still have to meet certain other requirements like allegiance. You must swear allegiance to the country. You must not have been. Look, there are a lot of requirements. There is not one requirement for being a permanent resident.
Commander Josh, the argument, remember here, my argument with you was when you said that work is the only ground for you to have permanent
Yo,
residency.
but he did. Yo, Kosiam, I still agree with that. Even if wait. Okay, no, Commander, you can.
So, commanders, let's look at the current situation right now. What is the law?
No, can I please hear Nover? Nover, you wanted to say something. What did you want to say?
No. Let
So you are
Commander
running
finish
away
his-
from George now. You want
Let
to go to
Commander
the-
finish his point. Then I will. No. True gospel. Wait.
Commander.
Let Commander finish his point. I'll come after him.
I'm saying, and I've said, that the 5 years period is, not 5 years. The critical skill visa is a basic requirement for applying for citizenship.
No, permanent residency, not citizenship. Permanent.
No, permanent residency. Sorry. I said it's the basic requirement.
Is it the only requirement?
It's the basic.
Is it the only now?
It is the main requirement.
Is it the only?
No,
Yes or
it cannot be the only, obviously, because
Oh,
you
thank
first
you.
the other requirement, you must also be a human being.
No, thank
That is
you.
the other requirement.
No,
the
thank
other
you.
requirement is that you must be able to speak.
Yeah, no,
So
thank
you want me to
You
mention
put
all
my
these
point.
requirements.
You
The
put my
other
point.
requirement is that you must be able to walk on 2 feet.
No, you
The
put
other
my
requirement
point.
is that you must owe allegiance to the country. The
Thank
other
you.
requirement, look, the other requirement is that you must have been in South Africa for a period of more than 5 years. And Bona, all these things we are mentioning were not gospel. They don't automatically qualify. You still have to apply. You can be
No,
rejected.
but Mina, my argument.
The application for permanent residency is on a point-based system.
Yeah.
If you tick all the boxes, you are granted permanent residency.
Yeah, Mina, you prove my point, and I'm glad that work is not the only ground for you to get permanent residency. And you admitted.
You
So
know,
I'm happy.
truth gospel. You are missing the most critical thing, and I can see that you are missing it either deliberately or you are just. Let me just do this.
Can you mute Audi more? Audi. Hey.
You are. I don't know if you are doing it on purpose or what. Work is the most critical one, and it can never be. And I can even say this: work and business, because one of the most fundamental things that are looked into is your sustenance. Will you be able to sustain yourself within the country? If you remove the critical skill for a foreigner coming into the country, how are they making a living in the country?
Yeah, but that was not the argument, though.
No. Let's focus on that. Then we will drive it to your argument. How is that person who is applying for a permanent residence making a living in the country?
I mean, of course, with every foreigner who comes into the country, they must be vetted whether they will be able to survive.
Answer the asking. The person that you presume is applying for permanent residency, how are they making a living in the country?
Yeah, of course, we must look into that. How will they survive? Of course. You're right.
So don't you think therefore that work is the prime foundation of application for such?
No, but that was not the argument, Novera.
It was the argument.
Okay.
No, it was not. It was not.
What was the argument then? What was the argument?
The argument was when Commander George said work is the only ground for you to receive permanent residence.
Yes,
Is
work is the
only ground.
But you will never understand, Yazin. Remove work. Then let's remove work completely. Let's remove work. What else?
Look, there's family based. I can say.
Can I raise my hand, Nover?
So yes, like how will that family be taken care of?
Look, there are grounds here. If you are a spouse,
I know. So you think if oh my goodness.
Okay, this is what I wanted to say when I know.
I know true gospel. I've been patient. I'm okay. I know.
You know, Commander George asked a simple question, and Useula also asked that question, and I think Gospel did not catch it where they were going with this. He just answered for the sake of answering, for the sake of arguing. He said, for you to even come this side and want permanent deeding, what is it that is required first? You did not answer that. Number one, it means that you must have visa. It means that you must have papers. So when you are illegal, you do not have all of those things. So everything that we are talking about here does not apply to you.
Continue. You are shifting the goalpost.
I am shocked over the fact that.
But didn't he ask that?
No,
and you could not answer that.
The argument is that.
No, I hear you, Gospel, but didn't he ask you that and you did not answer that?
You are shifting the goalpost.
No, guys.
Teula, didn't you ask him that and you did not answer that?
Guys, I feel like we are overindulging someone who refused to see basic things. Because of, I don't want to lie, Gospel, ne? I don't want to lie. This is even a normal visa application. If I want to go somewhere, especially in the US, I think it is fair for them to know how will I sustain myself during the duration of that stay there. So if now I wanna apply for a citizen permanent residence, it is of primal, actually is the foundation. That is the first thing that they consider. Your source of income. How are you making a living?
I don't take away from that, Nover, but I'm against you saying that work is the only ground.
Listen, can I finish? It is the only ground on the basis of if you apply for it, you need to verify how are you making a living. It's
Okay,
part. It is the only ground that matters.
Can you please show us proof according to the Immigration Act?
Commanders,
No, bro.
commanders,
Okay,
commanders.
before Commander comes in, Commander,
Look,
didn't you ask a
look.
question? Didn't you ask this boy, beside permanent residence, what is the first thing that is required?
That is
Didn't you ask him
crazy.
that and he failed to answer that?
Commanders,
Shifting the goalpost, Tinibu.
No, I'm not shifting the goalpost. I'm saying what was said here. And you missed it because we said you must have first papers, you must have a visa. You cannot come this side and say that you want permanent residence while you do not even have a visa. Oh, he ran away again.
commanders, please.
I
Let us establish. Let us be fair to ourselves. Let us establish. Corey.
I can't hear
Commander, we can't hear you.
listen.
Ore Asa ne re o utlwile. Ba o fetsa wa stima. Where yeah, sere a utlwa jano.
Commanders, bonane. Now I'm saying, Jorge, the only thing which can place you in South Africa for a period of 5 years, which then qualifies you to apply for permanent residence, that only thing is a work of critical skill. You know, that is me. You can contradict me. Because, look, the other things, they don't place you in the country for 5 years. A visa, a visitor's visa, place you in the country for 90 days. A relative visa also have a limited duration. It does not even come anywhere closer to 5 years. A student visa is exhausted after your period of study is done. Let's say a 3-year degree. Your study visa is exhausted. That is short of 5 years. You know? So the only thing which places a foreigner in South Africa for 5 years consistently without a break is a work of critical skill. It cannot be a general work visa because general work visas have been abolished 3 years ago. Now, speaking about the present, there is absolutely no document which will qualify you for application for permanent residency other than doing work of critical skill, because that places you in the country for 5 years. You know, the deposit of 5 million business visa, it is just in the same category as critical skill. So now, if we get through this, you know, these elementary things, I don't think we will have an argument, you know, stretched as this far. We don't have an argument if we can just go through that. Thank you, commanders.
No, it makes sense, Commander, because I really wanted the gentleman, I mean, we wanted you to start with that elementary, you know, because I think a lot of people, especially the likes of Sasco, you know, they actually don't really understand these things. You know, first of all, and I like the fact that when anyone comes to South Africa, right, foreigners, whatever, let's talk about even the SADC, where you don't necessarily need a visa. When you come to South Africa, I think according to law, and I'm here to be corrected as you, Commander, you are here. You are only allowed to be in a country for 90 days within a year. I think if I'm correct. And then we have to start from there. So meaning that you are here as a visitor. You understand what I'm saying? So, and then with what we were talking about initially, you as someone who's a visitor, we cannot allow your child to actually go register into our schools. That's actually, we were talking about schools. That's the reason where we are in terms of this discussion. I cannot go to Zimbabwe with my passport and go and register my child there. right? And then the other things that will need anyone to come to South Africa, it will be through if there is a critical skill. And if there's a critical skill, I think they allow the families to you to bring your family. And when you bring your family, it means that all those documentation, including the children, like your document should be on point, including the study visas. And you'll only be there for your duration of your if that you are granted 5 years, you are only in South Africa for 5 years, and so on and so forth. And your children will be accepted, and it's because of now you are in critical. They have to be accepted to the public. I mean, private schools. I think that's how I understand these things. And again, we really need to start from there in terms of the elementary, just to try and understand. Majority of the foreigners in South Africa are illegal. We need to start from there. And if you are illegal, there is nothing that we're going to discuss with you in terms of our schools. It's off 90%, if not more than that. And then we are left with those that actually came with just only passport. When you come with only a passport, as I have explained, you are not allowed to, your children are not allowed to be at our schools anywhere, including even in private schools. So you are out. So the people that are left there, that should be the critical skill. And the critical skills people are very, very low in numbers. And with that, I don't really think if you are a critical skill person, you can even go to the public school and fight with the children of the poor South Africans. I think that's how I understand these things, and it should be basics. So I don't really if we get rid of the illegal foreigners, our schools will be free and empty. We won't have that backlog in Gauteng of children that are there. So I think that's how I understand it. I just don't understand what was the argument of SASCO.
That guy doesn't have an argument, Commander. These things are obvious. These things are obvious. It is just that we will always find arguments like this when we are in these streets and spaces. Because you have people who want to blackmail their illegal stay in South Africa by putting up such kind of arguments. Applying for permanent residency is basic. That is why, commanders, when I first started here, I said that when these permanent residencies are investigated, they are found to be illegal and impeachable. Because when the permanent residency is investigated, they go and check at the National Population Register. They go and check at the movement system of Home Affairs, how you first registered your presence when you came to South Africa. When there is no trace of you in the National Population Register or the movement system, when there's nothing about your biometrics, when you don't have a file at the movement system, your permanent residency is invalid because it has got no basis. Because inside your file for application for permanent residency, there should be fingerprints which you first deposited when you first came into the country. There must be your study visa. Your study visa must have a letter of admission from the institution where you studied. You must have completed your qualifications. Your statement of results or your certificate must be in that file. And your work contract, because after the study visa, you must get a work contract to continue to stay in South Africa legally. And that work contract must be of a critical skill. It must also be in your file. And thereafter, your application after 5 years for permanent residency is justified. Now, if all those source documents I mentioned are not in your file, your permanent residency is illegal, is invalid. There is a certain Nigerian who took Home Affairs to court, and the case was decided, I think last of last week. It was all in the papers. He wanted permanent residency, on the ground that he has been here for too long. Whether you're here for 20 years or what, you can still be illegal. Your prolonged stay in South Africa does not justify your application for permanent residency. It is your legality and the 5-year period which justifies your stay. That Nigerian's application was rejected by Home Affairs, and he took Home Affairs to court. And the court agreed with Home Affairs that you should have a history, a recorded history of your legal movement in the country before you can be granted permanent residency. So my argument to Gospel was that, commanders, that work, because you cannot be a tourist and later become a permanent resident. You cannot be a relative on the relative visa and later become a permanent. You cannot be on a 90-day visitor's visa and later become a permanent resident. According to me, I'm saying my interpretation is work is the basis of application for permanent residency, because work is the one which gives you a prolonged stay in the country, which will later justify your application for permanent residency, period. The many permanent residents which are by Zimbabweans, they are illegal, commanders, because Zimbabweans first came here illegally and later they want to be legal. There is a guy called Kudukwashe Mpofu. He was a CFO of a Northwest Development Corporation. He was working and studying on a fraudulent visa. When that visa was investigated, it was discovered that it was duplicated with another Zimbabwean's a permanent residence permit. Now, even that, what he did, he took the numbers of that Zimbabwean and then he pasted them on his document and he put his picture there. And he did that for a period of more than 10 years because he studied, he worked with that permanent residency. He also got a job as a CFO on that fraudulent permanent residency. Now, this is what Zimbabweans are doing, most of them anyway. They duplicate the numbers. They just take the number. They know that that number is valid at Home Affairs. They take the number and then they put their picture and their names there. And when institutions check, because institutions are not speaking to the systems at Home Affairs, when institutions check, they just check that thing as valid. And then voila, they are in schools, they are at whatever. So they are using fraudulent documents, most of them. Most of the Zimbabweans are here illegally, commanders. This is not a xenophobic thing, because whenever they are investigated, 9 out of 10 times, it comes out that their documents are illegal. So, on paper, South African permanent residency is very difficult. But because we've got corrupt officials at Home Affairs, and we also have got unscrupulous migrants here, they always find their way to finding these documents. But these documents, like I said, commanders, they don't have their source documents. Their files are non-existent at Home Affairs, and that makes them illegal. Even the Roland who was speaking here, if we interrogate him properly, you'll find that he was living in South Africa illegally. Because you'll find that he was not a holder of a critical skill visa. He was just working using a passport and a 90-day stamp, which is what Zimbabweans are doing. So
Amanda, there's an important question there from Khomoto, and I think it's very, very important, and that's what we see a lot of them doing. Here is a Zimbabwean. I'll give a scenario. Here is a Zimbabwean. He comes to South Africa with proper documentation, maybe a passport, and for 90 days. And chances are he overstay, and then some of them they don't even go. We know, we have seen a video where they give these taxi drivers to go to what do you call, to the port of entry so that they can stamp and they bring them, and you find that this person has overstayed in South Africa, and next year or 2 years later he also comes back. He has already committed a crime by overstaying, but he's allowed again back to South Africa. And when he comes to South Africa, some of them, they even work, and he actually want to get married. He's now getting himself a Jolofina. Now he wants to get married. And then he now wants to do things in terms of proper way of doing things. Can that person be granted? Because I'm just giving this as a thumbstack example. Can that person be given a residence? Through maybe his merit, but you find that historically this person has been violating our immigration laws. If you get what I'm saying.
I get you, Commander. Commander, once you are illegal, you cannot later be legalized by anything. If you overstate your period, you cannot later enter into a marriage, granting you a stay in South Africa. The Nigerian I spoke about, who took Home Affairs to court, it was discovered, commanders, that at some stage he was illegal in the country. He had no trace of any document which, was legalizing his stay in the country. And he later got so-called proper documents. And on the basis of those documents, he wanted to be a permanent residence holder. The Home Affairs rejected him. And later he went to court. The court agreed with Home Affairs. Look, a lot of things, they just happen in a corrupt manner. There's a lot of Zimbabweans who've got their passports with many stamps. Their pages are full of stamps, the 90-day stamps. And that 90-day stamp is only available per cycle of visit. A cycle of visit is 3 years. So if you have a stamp of 90 days right now, and then it expires on Friday, you cannot have another stamp of 90 days on Monday. That is not allowed, because you have exhausted your cycle of visit. You should go back to Zimbabwe and come after the next cycle. So now you have Zimbabweans who will finish their 90 days on Friday. On Saturday, they have a new stamp of visit. And then the 90 days will expire again in March next year. On the 31st of March, when the other stamp expires, on the 1st of April, he's got another stamp. It is wrong. It is wrong, because you are no longer a visitor. You are granting yourself a temporary residence in South Africa by keep on stamping and stamping and stamping your passport. The law is not allowing that. It is just that we've got a government which ignores certain of these things. Once if you come into South Africa illegally, there is nothing which can later legalize you. Absolutely nothing. If you come to South Africa on the basis of asylum, you are running from war. You must report at the appropriate place, center. You must make your application. You must be recorded. Your biometrics must be taken. Your 5 sets of fingerprints must be sent to Interpol to go and check if you're not a fugitive and you're not on their red list. And then thereafter, you are processed. You see?
Commander George, let me ask you this, and I'm sorry, man. I see Kaiser. Like now, let's say this person has done that with the extension of 90 days and whatever, of which is a violation of our immigration. What is what does the law says when we see this thing happening? For example, is there any ban, for maybe a certain period of time for you not being allowed to enter South Africa? I just want to know what.
The ban is 5 years, Commander. You get banned as an undesirable for 5 years, but it's not applicable to Zimbabweans. It is only applied when the authorities want to apply it. So it is applied at their option. Look, Commander, the 90-day visa, which the Zimbabweans are using, it is a visitor's permit. But the Zimbabweans, they use it as a residence permit because they come here and stay in squatter camps with that visa. They use it as a work visa because they come here and work in gardens and as domestic workers on that passport and a 90-day visa. They use it as a study visa because they come here with their children, and when they apply at school, they present that passport and the 90-day visa at school, and the schools unreasonably and unlawfully accepts those 90-day visa and passports to admit the children of Zimbabweans at schools. And that is not allowed. The Bella Act says that when you are a foreigner, you must come with a study visa and you must have a permanent residence. When you don't have those two documents, you cannot be having your child at a primary school. But because the ANC was able to collapse the rule of law in South Africa, millions of these Zimbabweans are living illegally through these passports. We saw a Zimbabwean carrying 582 passports to be stamped 90 days at Beitbridge. He was caught with the money inside the passports. And when they catch these people, the government wants to make news. When the government knows that this thing is a daily occurrence, the Zimbabweans always stamp their passports to prolong their stay in the country. And that is not allowed, commanders. And the other thing, when you are a visitor and you come to South Africa, you must come with medical insurance. Zimbabweans are not made to come with medical insurance. When you are a visitor, you come to South Africa, you must come with proof of residence of the person who is going to receive you in the country. Zimbabweans do not present proof of residence when they are at the border and their passports are being stamped. When you present at the border coming into South Africa on a visitor's visa, you must have enough money in your bank account to show that you'll be able to sustain yourself when you're in the country. It is not happening to Zimbabweans. The government is exempting Zimbabweans from these basic laws. That is why we are having so many problems with squatter camps and hijacked buildings, because these people have got nowhere to stay when they come here.
No, Commander, I'm sorry to interrupt, because you know why, and it's very important what you are saying, and I like that, because we have seen, even the police, even the immigration police, whatever, you find that when they raid some of this raid, when they raid and then they go and check, we tend to be very lenient to the people that have got passport. I mean, passport, legal. You understand? Because they are carrying a passport. But when you go and verify and go through those steps and go into details, you realize that they've actually violated those. And you find that this person is even having is a visitor, and is even having a mkuku somewhere, and I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, and that's the frustration that I see. And I've seen this before, where a hell lot of foreigners, when they have a passport, We just said, oh, okay, sharp, then that's it. We end there instead of actually verifying and actually trying to check. And that I see it's been happening. Our police have been so much relaxed whenever they see a passport, because this person will just show you the latest stamp. Oh, you are here valid, you are valid. Okay, it's fine. You are still fine. And that's it. It's a full stop. And that's where and that's how many and majority of these foreigners, that's how they are living in South Africa. Is my network? I don't know. Guys, can you hear me? Oh, it's my network. No Vava? Oh, okay. What's happening? Yeah, people can hear me. Can you hear me, Kaiser? I don't know. Oh, okay.
Yeah, commanders. You know, Mina, I'm saying, and I'm not even risking contradiction when I say this. I'm saying all Zimbabweans in South Africa are here illegally. You know, if you argue with this, you can go and hug something else. These people, they come on passports. Well, those who think they come legally. If you come with a passport and a visitor's visa, you need to comply with those requirements of visitor's visa. You know, which is that you must have a medical insurance, you must have whatever. And when you come here, you are visiting. You don't come and stay. A passport is not a residence permit. It's not a temporary residence permit. It's nothing. That passport with a visitor's visa is for you to visit South Africa for 90 days, and after that you leave. It is not a work visa. When you are in South Africa with a visitor's visa, that 90 days, you cannot apply for work. You cannot get a work permit legally, because when you get a work visa, you get it while you are in your home country. You apply for it while you are in Zimbabwe, that you want to work in South Africa, and then that work visa is approved while you are in Zimbabwe, and then thereafter, you come to South Africa with that work visa and you work here. 99% of Zimbabweans, they got their work visa while they are in South Africa, and that is not allowed. They are in South Africa on the basis of a work visa, and they want to be regarded as being legal. You know, they are visiting here. When you are visiting, you cannot apply for work legally and get it. You apply for work when you are at your home country. You don't apply for work and get a work visa while you are here. No, you don't do that. It is applied for South Africans who work in China as English tutors. They apply while they are in South Africa, not while they are already in China, because that is an international practice. But because Zimbabweans can be above the law in South Africa, they just do as they please. When you come with a visitor's visa, you must have enough money in your bank account to show that when you are in South Africa, you are not going to be a burden. You see, but Zimbabweans are not allowed to give a proof of that, the fact that they've got money, because they are allowed to live illegally in South Africa. You know, when you come to South Africa, you need to comply with all protocols of travel. You know, you need to be yellow fever vaccinated. You must bring proof of address where you are going to stay. You don't just come here and hijack a building or hijack land and build a squatter camp. That is wrong. 100% of Zimbabweans coming into South Africa, they don't come here illegally. The Zimbabweans who were granted Zimbabwean exemption permits, they were illegally granted those documents because there is nothing in our visa system which allows for those kind of permits to be issued. And besides, before they were given the ZEPs, they were here illegally. When you are in South Africa illegally, you must be dealt with in accordance with Section 49. You must be arrested for illegal immigration. That is the first thing that which they must happen. So when you grant people permits who are illegal in the country, you are violating Section 49 of the Immigration Act. So all those ZEPs which were granted to the Zimbabweans are illegal. All of them. It doesn't matter if they were granted by the government of the day. It doesn't matter. Those things are just illegal instruments. And even when these ZEPs were taken to court, the court never ruled on the legality of the ZEPs.